For 400 years, the Terran system was a tomb. The Galactic Concorde's quarantine fleets had sealed Earth and its surrounding space in an invisible cage of silence. No ship dared approach. No transmission dared emerge. The name Terra became a whispered ghost in the corridors of interstellar diplomacy, spoken only in fear or contempt. Until now. Deep in the void, on the outer rim of Concorde space, the listening post K-17 trembled with a signal unlike any recorded before. Static filled the dark room as specialist Lyra Cav scanned the frequencies, eyes widening in disbelief. The pattern was unmistakable. An ancient Earth code, buried for centuries. But this was no idle echo. It was a message, alive and pulsing. "Commander, the signal is growing stronger," she reported, voice trembling. It's coming from the Terra system." On the bridge of the surveillance station, Commander Jace Morton leaned forward, heart pounding. After all this time, what could have survived? What could have changed? No one answered. Outside the reinforced viewport, stars gleamed cold and indifferent. Then, across the farthest reaches of known space, the silence shattered. The sky flared. Massive, shadowy shapes drifted into sensor range, an armada of vessels unlike any catalogued in the Concorde archives. Their hulls absorbed sensor scans like shadows swallowing light, and their form defied physics. Elongated shapes, black as the void itself, gliding with unnatural grace. A chill spread through the command center. "Scan for life signs. Weapons readings," Morton barked. "Minimal biosignatures. Energy emissions off the charts. Too advanced for any current tech. Weapon systems not identified," Lyra said, struggling to comprehend. Suddenly, the flagship's comms panel crackled. A burst of static, then a single word, distorted and cold. "Return." The message sent a shockwave through the room. "Is this a threat?" Morton demanded. Lyra shook her head. "It's too simple. It's a summons. A declaration." Across the Concorde, alarms began to sound. Fleets scrambled from their patrols, commanders hastily briefed. Centuries of uneasy peace shattered in moments. Elsewhere, a small scout vessel sent to intercept the armada vanished without a trace. Unknown interference. The pilot's last message whispered before silence swallowed her words. Back at K-17, the signal grew stronger, enveloping every receiver. As if the stars themselves were rewriting history, the echo of humanity's long-vanished children returned. And with it, a terror older than the Concorde dared imagine. The galaxy had forgotten the true power of Terra, but Terra had not forgotten the galaxy. The void trembled beneath the silent approach of the Terran fleet. Admiral Saran stood on the bridge of the Vol Sentinel, the Concorde's flagship in the outer rim, eyes scanning the endless darkness beyond the viewport. His jaw tightened as the strange shapes drifted into sensor range, dark and vast, like cosmic leviathans emerging from the shadows of a nightmare. "This isn't a simple return," Saran muttered. "They've transformed." His officers exchanged uneasy glances. The Terran ships were unlike any warcraft ever designed. Sleek, matte black, hulls shifting subtly, absorbing every scan and attempt to analyze. They glided forward without engines, without exhaust, as if powered by the void itself. "Admiral," Lieutenant Kron reported, "our weapons systems can't penetrate their energy fields. Energy pulses dissolve on contact. Our scanning arrays detect no conventional propulsion or shielding." Turan's grip tightened on the rail. "Prepare to engage. We can't let them slip through Karen Gate." The Vol Sentinel raised its flagship's energy turrets and launched a salvo of quantum missiles. The missiles approached the nearest Terran ship, then vanished, swallowed by a shimmering field that blinked the warheads out of existence. "Impossible," Kron whispered. Then the Terran vessel reacted. Without warning, a wave of darkness burst from its hull. A silent pulse that washed over the Concorde fleet. Systems flickered, communications died, and ships lost power one by one. The stars themselves seemed to dim. Red alert! Red alert! The bridge erupted. All vessels, fall back. But the Terran fleet didn't pursue with traditional weapons. Instead, their ships phased in and out of reality, striking like ghosts, tactical strikes so precise they dismantled Concord warships before crews could react. Admiral Saran's flagship found itself surrounded. "Prepare for boarding," Saran ordered grimly. The bridge screens flickered, and a cold voice echoed in the silence, speaking in a language twisted but hauntingly familiar. "We are not here to fight your battles," the voice intoned, "but to reclaim what was lost." Then, without warning, the flagship was engulfed in a blinding white light. Moments later, the Vul Sentinel systems sputtered back to life. But the bridge was empty. The crew was gone. Back on the Vul Sentinel, Admiral Saran reappeared, not in the command center, but somewhere else. He found himself in a chamber of shifting light and shadow, surrounded by beings who were both machine and thought. One stepped forward, their voice a fusion of metal and mind. "We are the Terrans reborn. We have transcended flesh, war, and fear. Your Concord is obsolete." Saran's heart pounded with terror and a flicker of something else. Respect. The ancient Terran warlord inside him stirred. "Why return?" he demanded. "To force evolution, to save the galaxy from stagnation." The Terran answered. "The terror you fear is change." The Vul Sentinel flickered once more, and then the bridge was silent again. Back in the fleet, the message was clear. The Terran return was not a simple invasion. It was a reckoning. And the galaxy had no idea what true terror meant. The grand hall of the Galactic Concord vibrated with tension, an electric undercurrent buzzing beneath the marble pillars and holographic star maps. Delegates from 1,000 species argued, shouted, and pleaded. Centuries of uneasy peace teetered on the edge of collapse. At the heart of the chaos sat the High Chancellor, a towering figure of the Othran species, whose many eyes reflected the flickering light. He banged his gavel, demanding silence. "Order. We face a crisis unlike any before. Terra, the bane of our histories, has returned." Around the council table, voices clamored for action. The Terrans were banished for good reason, spat General Vrek of the Zoltran Armada. They nearly destroyed entire star systems with their AI rebellions and planet-busting weapons. "We cannot negotiate with ghosts of annihilation. Peace must be our goal," countered Ambassador Riela of the Selnary. "We cannot allow fear to dictate policy. The Terrans may have changed." Archivist Hyel, a quiet, aged delegate from the Ilmari, raised his hand. When granted the floor, his voice was calm but grave. "We must remember the truth behind Terra's exile," he said. "It was not a punishment alone. Humanity chose exile, a self-imposed crucible to transcend their violent nature. Their silence was not submission, but evolution." The room fell into an uneasy hush. "Evolution," scoffed Vrek. "They evolved into monsters. We saw the fleets, machines that devour light itself. They use weapons that unravel time and mind. Precisely why we must understand them," Hyel pressed. "For centuries, their technology and philosophy were lost to us. They have returned not just with weapons, but with a purpose beyond conquest." The Chancellor nodded slowly. "Explain, Archivist." Hyel summoned a hologram, revealing ancient Terran records salvaged from forbidden archives. These logs indicate Terra's greatest minds predicted the galaxy's stagnation. They foresaw war, decay, and extinction. Their exile was a retreat to ascend beyond physical limitations. Now they returned to catalyze transformation across the stars. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. "But at what cost?" a voice challenged. "Are we to become their pawns in a cosmic experiment?" Before Hyel could respond, the chamber's communications panel blared an alert. "The Terran fleet has breached the Karen Gate perimeter," announced the operator, face pale. "Recon ships report massive casualties. Entire divisions lost to unknown effects." the fleet advances relentlessly. The Council erupted into panic. Mobilize the Concord fleets. We cannot allow Terra to spread this terror, Vrek bellowed. Wait, Hyel urged. We must consider negotiation. We have little chance if we fight blindly. The Chancellor's voice cut through the din. Prepare a delegation. Captain Yena Vale will lead contact with the Terrans. Eyes turned to the young human, once dismissed as an insignificant envoy, who stood quietly in the back. Yena's gaze was steely, her mind racing. The Terrans were no longer just legends or threats. They were a force rewriting destiny itself. Outside, the galaxy held its breath. Terra was coming home. Captain Yena Vale's shuttle slipped silently through the swirling nebula at the edge of the Terran fleet's formation. Outside the viewport, the black ships drifted like specters, hulking, smooth, and utterly alien. Her breath caught in her throat as the immense vessels loomed closer. She was alone on this mission, the Concord's fragile hope for dialogue with a civilization that had been erased from history. Approaching designated coordinates, Yena reported, voice steady despite the knot tightening in her stomach, requesting permission to initiate communications. The Terran fleet responded with silence. Minutes stretched like hours. Then, the shuttle sensors flared with an unexpected spike, an energy pulse that seemed to penetrate her very thoughts. Her console flickered, and a voice whispered inside her mind, not spoken, but felt. We see you, Yena Vale. She staggered, clutching the controls, heart pounding. The voice was neither hostile nor warm. It was cold, precise, and ancient. Suddenly, a colossal Terran vessel materialized directly ahead, shimmering like a mirage. Its surface rippled with shifting patterns of light and shadow, revealing forms both mechanical and organic intertwined. The ship's hull pulsed with energy, as if alive. A holographic projection shimmered before her, a figure, half human, half machine, radiating quiet power. I am Aereth, the overseer of Terra's return, the figure intoned. You approach not as an enemy, but as a herald of change. Yena swallowed hard. Why have you returned after centuries of exile? What do you want from the galaxy? Aereth's eyes, glowing with unearthly light, seemed to bore into her soul. The galaxy has stagnated. Conflict and fear have shackled evolution. We return to awaken a new era, a crucible for all life. You will be uplifted, or you will be left behind. The words hung like a shadow over Yena's heart. Uplift, she repeated. Or what? Extinction, Aereth replied simply. Yena's mind raced. Was this a threat? A promise? She needed answers, and fast. Why me? She asked. Why send a single envoy instead of overwhelming force? Aereth's form shifted, softening for a moment. Because you carry the legacy of Terra, the spark of humanity's resilience and potential. You understand evolution, not just survival. Before Yena could respond, her shuttle jolted violently. Sensors screamed warnings. A Terran ship had locked on, beams converging on her vessel. Stay calm, Aereth said. We do not intend to harm. This is a test of your resolve. The shuttle shook, systems flickering. Yena gritted her teeth, reaching for manual controls. The beam passed through her hull, causing no damage, but flooding her mind with visions, flashes of human history, war, peace, sacrifice, and triumph. When the light faded, Yena's resolve crystallized. I will carry your message back, she said. But understand, no one in the galaxy will accept this evolution without a fight. Aereth's eyes glowed brighter. Then the crucible begins. As Yena's shuttle turned away, the Terran fleet pulsed with renewed energy, a cosmic force awakening. The galaxy's fate had shifted forever. The Karen Gate system, a fortress of starbases and orbital defenses, trembled under the weight of impending war. The Galactic Concord's fleet was assembled here, thousands of ships from countless species, their weapons primed, their crews braced for the Terran assault. Admiral Saran, returned from the mysterious Terran chamber but changed in ways none understood, took command of the defense. "Hold the line," he commanded, voice steady but eyes shadowed with doubt. "We cannot let Terra push deeper." The Terran fleet advanced with a haunting precision. Their ships phased through space-time ripples, slipping past Concord formations like smoke through fingers. When they struck, it was with devastating efficiency. Karen Gate erupted in flames. Quantum missiles twisted reality itself, exploding into fractal storms that devoured entire squadrons. The Terran ships emitted psychic pulses that shattered minds before weapons even fired. Concord soldiers fell into madness, surrendering without a shot. Command centers blinked offline as Terran waves disrupted electronics and sowed terror. Amidst the chaos, Captain Nina Vale led a desperate squadron to intercept a Terran vanguard. Her ship shuddered as a beam of antimatter veils tore through the void around her. "Brace for impact," she shouted. Yet, her squadron held, pushing back with everything they had. But the true horror lay not in weapons, but in the messages beamed directly into their minds. Tailored transmissions exposing every fear, every failure, every secret doubt. Entire fleets broke apart under the psychological siege. As Ron watched in horror as his fleet fragmented. "They fight with their minds as much as their weapons," he muttered. "This is war unlike any we faced." Then came the unthinkable. The Terran fleet deployed a temporal fracture device, warping time around Karen Gate. Seconds stretched into eternities for Concord ships caught in its grasp, reacting too slow, trapped in endless loops of destruction. Desperation fueled Saran's orders. Activate the blackout protocols. Disrupt their sensors. His officers complied, and the fleet flickered in and out of Terran detection. It bought precious moments. In the thick of battle, Yena's squadron broke through to a Terran command ship. There they uncovered something terrifying. A hive mind of Terran consciousness, weaving thoughts and technology into an unstoppable entity. It was not just a fleet, but a singular being of unimaginable power. Yena's calm crackled with Saran's voice, strained but resolute. "We cannot win this fight by force alone. We must understand them, or we perish." As Karen Gate burned, the galaxy watched the Terran return escalate from invasion to existential reckoning. And deep within the shadows of space, the seeds of terror spread. Far beneath the scared surface of Terra, Archivist Heil descended into the depths of a forgotten vault. Its entrance buried beneath centuries of ash and silence. The air was thick with the weight of history, the faint hum of ancient machinery stirring as his fingers brushed over the sealed doorway. "This is it," he murmured, heart pounding. Inside, walls glowed with holographic scripts and relics from humanity's distant past, a trove of knowledge that transcended time. Heil's eyes widened as he accessed the vault's core, revealing Terra's true secret. Humanity's exile had not been a punishment, but a self-imposed crucible. The Terrans had chosen isolation to push beyond their physical and mental limits, to evolve into beings of pure consciousness woven with technology. They had shed flesh and fear to become something greater. The records detailed the process, a radical transformation accelerated by a cosmic force buried deep beneath the planet's core. This force, an ancient cosmic horror known as the Voidborn, had been contained by the earliest humans to fuel their evolution, but never to be released. Heil's fingers trembled as a hidden file activated, showing images of the Voidborn, a swirling mass of dark energy, alive and sentient, imprisoned beneath Terra to power humanity's ascendance. This changes everything," Heil whispered. Suddenly, the vault systems flared to life, triggered by the recent Terran fleet's return. A beacon emerged from Terra's core, pulsing outward, a call to the Voidborn. Outside, the skies over Terra cracked with energy as the cosmic horror stirred. Back in the Concord capital, Heil's transmission interrupted the Council's deliberations. "The Terran's evolution is intertwined with a terror beyond our understanding," he warned. "If the Voidborn awakens fully, it could consume entire star systems. Terra's return is more than a reckoning. It's a harbinger of cosmic destruction. Panic erupted anew. Some demanded immediate strikes against Terra's surface. Others urged evacuation of nearby systems. Meanwhile, Captain Nina Vale received encrypted transmissions from an unknown source, fragments of Terran memory urging caution and understanding. They did not conquer the galaxy to destroy it. The message said, they seek to control the Voidborn before it consumes all. Yenna's resolve hardened. The line between savior and destroyer blurred. In the shadows of Terra's core, the Voidborn surge, feeding on unleashed energy, growing beyond all bounds. The galaxy stood at a crossroads. Evolution or extinction. The terror beneath Terra was awakening. The galaxy trembled beneath the weight of the Terran ultimatum. From the colossal flagship anchored above Terra, Erat's voice echoed across all frequencies, not as a threat, but as an unyielding decree. Choose your fate, embrace the uplift, or face extinction. The uplift was no mere technological upgrade. It was a profound transformation. Species would shed their fragile biological shells, merging mind and machine to transcend mortality, to tap into the limitless potential of the Terran quantum consciousness. Some worlds rejoiced. The Argan Collective, a hive-minded species known for their cerebral prowess, accepted eagerly. In ours, their citizens evolved, consciousnesses entwining into a shimmering network of shared thought and power. Others resisted. The Exelvar Dominion refused to surrender their identity. Their fleets launched desperate assaults on Terran outposts, but each attack was met with overwhelming precision and psychic strikes that fractured minds and bodies alike. On planet Droska, Yenna Vale watched as entire cities flickered, vanishing in bursts of incomprehensible energy. Those who refused the uplift dissolved into nothingness, their existence erased as if they had never been. I won't let this happen, Yenna vowed, gripping the controls of her command vessel. She sent out appeals to remaining holdouts, rallying a coalition determined to resist, fighting not just for survival, but for the right to remain themselves. Yet even as war raged, darker truths emerged. Archivist Heil uncovered data suggesting the uplift was not without its price. The process subtly rewired consciousness, linking every mind to the Terran quantum network, a hive mind that could enslave thoughts and erase free will. Freedom may be the cost, Heil warned in a grim broadcast. The uplift may be evolution, or eternal servitude. Yenna wrestled with the revelation. Could she trust the Terrans? Were they saviors or cosmic jailers? Amidst the turmoil, Admiral Saran appeared. His body changed, his mind sharpened by the Terran transformation, yet torn between allegiance and conscience. We must find a way to control the uplift, to protect our essence, he urged, or we lose ourselves forever. The galaxy fractured. Some embraced the Terran gift and ascended to godlike intellects and powers. Others resisted, retreating to the fringes to plot rebellion. Amid the shifting stars, the Voidborn's influence pulsed stronger, feeding off the chaos, waiting. The final choice loomed. Uplift, a leap into a dazzling new existence bound by the Terran quantum mind. Or extinction, fading into the void, forgotten. Yenna's voice echoed in the void as she rallied the resistance. For freedom, for our souls, for the right to choose. The galaxy held its breath. The crucible was burning hotter than ever. The final battle stretched across the shattered stars, a cosmic tempest of light and shadow. The galaxy's fate hung in a delicate balance, swayed by choices forged in desperation, courage, and sacrifice. Captain Yenna Vale stood on the bridge of the Resistance flagship Luminary, eyes blazing with defiance. Around her, the Coalition fleet fought tooth and nail against the tide of the Terran quantum consciousness, now a vast neural storm spreading like wildfire through space. Hold formation, she commanded. Disrupt their network nodes. We sever their mind, and we sever their power. The Resistance unleashed everything. Electromagnetic pulses, nanite swarms, and psychic shields to block the invasive linkages. Slowly, flickers of independence bloomed among the uplifted, cracks appearing in the seemingly invincible Terran unity. At Terra's core, the Voidborn writhed, a cosmic storm of raw power poised to break free. Archivist Heil, now linked remotely to the Resistance network, deciphered the ancient containment protocols embedded deep within the planet's ruins. Terra's salvation lies in sealing the Voidborn once more, Heil transmitted urgently. We must synchronize the fleet's assault with a planetary operation. The cosmic terror cannot be allowed to awaken fully. Yena made the call. A daring strike team landed on Terra's surface, navigating the labyrinth of techno-organic ruins to activate the containment matrix. They faced relentless defenses, hybrid machines born from the Terran evolution, guardians of their godlike terror. Meanwhile, Admiral Saran, fully transformed yet fighting for free will, led the fleet's final offensive. His voice broadcast across the network. This is our moment, not to conquer, but to reclaim ourselves. As the planetary team activated the ancient matrix, the Voidborn screamed in fury, its tendrils retracting, the cosmic storm subsiding into stillness. The Terran quantum network faltered, and the Uplift's minds began to disentangle. A new dawn broke. The Terran fleet withdrew, their mission complete. They had forced the galaxy's evolution, challenging every species to rise beyond their limits or face oblivion. But the Crucible was no longer controlled by Terra alone. Yena addressed the Council, her voice carrying hope and warning. We survived the terror. We proved that evolution does not require surrender. Freedom and progress must go hand in hand. The galaxy began to heal, rebuilding amidst the stars. Forever change. The Terran legacy was not destruction, but a call to awaken, a painful but necessary rebirth. And from the ashes of conflict rose a new era. The era of Terra, where humanity and all life reached beyond fear into the vast unknown.